I want to talk about a piece that came out this week from Andreessen Horowitz. It's written for CEOs, founders, boards. But if you're a CMO, it matters just as much. Right now, the market is forcing software companies out of the comfortable middle ground and pushing them toward two distinct survival paths. The first path is a sprint for revenue. Over the next 12 to 18 months, companies on this track need to accelerate revenue growth by 10 plus percentage points year over year, driven by entirely new AI-native products. The second path is about efficiency. Companies here have 12 to 14 months to rebuild their operating model and reach 40% plus true operating margins, including stock-based compensation. If you lead marketing, this creates an immediate tension. The strategy that accelerates growth on Path 1 actively undermines the margin requirements of Path 2. You can no longer rely on a standard playbook. Marketing has to be rebuilt around one of these financial realities, or it risks becoming irrelevant. The real danger is that many executive teams haven't actually made a choice. They push for aggressive growth while simultaneously demanding strict efficiency. That leaves companies stuck in an unworkable middle ground. And that middle ground shows up inside marketing as contradictory goals and mixed priorities. You end up trying to hit legacy pipeline targets while budgets tighten and headcount freezes. Burnout in marketing is often the result of structural misalignment, not a lack of talent. Let's look at what happens when a company commits to Path 1. Marketing has to move beyond running isolated acquisition campaigns and embed directly into the product development process. The focus shifts to real customer context. Not just personas or surveys, but actual workflows, how customers operate, where decisions happen, how data flows across systems. This work doesn't sit neatly inside product or engineering. It becomes a shared responsibility, with marketing feeding insight directly into product decisions. This shift is driven by how new AI products are monetized. Many rely on consumption-based models. Closing a deal is only the starting point. Without ongoing usage, revenue never materializes. So the metrics change. Pipeline volume gives way to activation rates, daily usage, and depth of adoption. Driving sign-ups without sustained engagement burns cash, whereas driving consistent usage builds durable revenue. To make this work, you need to reallocate your strongest marketers away from standalone campaigns and into the product feedback loop. For companies on this path, marketing either becomes a core driver of the product, or it is relegated to a support function while engineering takes the lead. Now consider Path 2. If your company is rebuilding toward 40% plus margins, marketing needs to be restructured for efficiency. The first step is tightening your ideal customer profile. The broad reach required for growth is replaced with precision. This often means moving less profitable customers upmarket or allowing them to churn. That is as much a marketing decision as it is a commercial one. At the same time, growth shifts away from heavy acquisition. The focus moves to retention, expansion within existing accounts, and maintaining pricing power. Marketing becomes more tightly aligned with customer success and revenue operations. Because structurally, the market has changed. Features are easier to replicate, switching costs are lower, and workflows are less sticky. In this market, your defense is not just product, it's brand, positioning, and perceived value. Every marketing investment needs to answer a simple question. Does this strengthen our position with our most profitable customers? Executing this path requires discipline. You cut underperforming channels, eliminate legacy programs, and focus relentlessly on per-customer profitability. The reality is that many marketing teams are stuck, not because they lack capability, but because the business hasn't made a clear strategic choice. You cannot optimize for growth and margin at the same time. Trying to do both guarantees you achieve neither. So the practical step is this. Force alignment at the top. Go directly to your CEO and ask, are we committing to the growth sprint or the margin mandate? It's an uncomfortable conversation, but it exposes where time, budget, and effort are being wasted on conflicting priorities. Choosing not to choose is still a decision. It just leads to failure. Once the path is clear, everything changes. Hiring decisions become simpler. Budget allocation becomes clearer. Campaign strategy becomes focused. You can move with conviction, pick your path, build the marketing function that supports it. Everything else is noise.